Climate change is no longer a distant threat. It is an ongoing disaster that is endangering humans and natural environments worldwide. The world is running out of time to avoid the most disastrous effects of global warming. In recent weeks, devastating flooding in Pakistan has killed at least 1,000 people and affected more than 15% of the country's population. Unprecedented flash floods caused by historic monsoon rains have washed away roads, crops, infrastructure, and bridges. Pakistan is currently experiencing one of the world's worst environmental disasters. One-third of the country is flooded. Over 1,325 people were killed and 33 million were affected. According to the most recent statistics, over 1,600 people have been injured, 325,000 homes have been destroyed, 735,000 livestock have been lost, and 2 million acres of crops have been damaged. Figures that are expected to rise, with an estimated cost of more than $10 billion. Rebuilding and rehabilitating the country could take 5 years. The recent spells of floods have been caused by global warming. This has not only affected Pakistan, but other countries are also facing the consequences. Climate change is raising the risk of threats to human health, infrastructure, food and water resource stability, and the biodiversity of the planet's ecosystems. Europe is experiencing its worst drought in at least 500 years, with two-thirds of the continent under alert or warning, reducing inland shipping, electricity production, and crop yields. Similarly, low rainfall and record-breaking heat are wreaking havoc on people, industry, and agriculture across much of China. River and reservoir levels have dropped, factories have closed due to power outages, and vast areas of crops have been damaged. Climate change is exacerbated by food insecurity across Sub-Saharan Africa, with long-term consequences for economic growth and poverty. The megadrought in the American Southwest is a climate disaster unprecedented in the last 1,200 years. Moreover, ice chunks have broken apart in Antarctica. Pakistan has accounted for 0.4% of historic emissions since 1959. Despite being listed as one of the world's most climate-vulnerable countries, the consequences of climate change are not evenly distributed, nor are the blame. Over half of all carbon emissions are attributed to just 3 countries, the United States, China, and India. Pakistan is facing enormous climate challenges. Despite being one of the world's lowest carbon emitters, Pakistan was ranked as one of the most vulnerable countries to climate change and extreme weather events in the Global Climate Risk Index 2021. The next disaster that Pakistan should be concerned about is not the monsoon rains of next year, but rather the crises that will follow this year's floods. Experts predict food insecurity, a public health nightmare, massive internal displacement, and increased migration to already overcrowded urban areas. Floods have been especially devastating for people living in poverty, as many of them live in inadequate and poor quality housing along riverbanks, in low-lying areas, and in areas that are difficult to access due to a lack of adequate infrastructure. The floods have a disproportionately negative impact on women. According to the United Nations Population Fund, there are nearly 650,000 pregnant women in flood-affected areas, with nearly 73,000 women due to give birth within the next month. More than 1,000 health facilities in Sindh province have been partially damaged or destroyed, while 198 health facilities in Balochistan's affected districts have been damaged. There is a link between greenhouse gas emissions and the use of fossil fuels, as well as increased floods and other natural disasters. As the atmosphere becomes more capable of holding more water, heavy rainfall and subsequent floods become more common. For every 1 degree Celsius increase in global temperatures, daily rainfall increases by about 7%. Climate change is a global issue that affects every country and many industries. Some places, such as Pakistan, may require more immediate and urgent attention, technical and societal know-how, and financial assistance from developed countries to build protective and lifeline infrastructures while also educating and preparing the population for natural disasters. It is not too late to slow the rate of climate change and avoid the worst consequences of the climate crisis if we act now. We can take on this challenge if we work together.